In this edition of Juneau Spotlight, we take wing with the Southeast Alaska Regional Airshow. So strap on a chute and hop in the jump seat because we're going to take a ride in a National Guard Black Hawk helicopter and a not-so-antique Russian biplane. We'll see some pretty amazing aircraft and meet the pilots who fly them. We'll catch a glimpse of the snowbirds performing on a typical Juneau day and talk to some of the people involved in coordinating the Southeast Alaska Regional Airshow. For me, it all started out on a Thursday afternoon before the airshow weekend when a group of local photographers was given the opportunity to get right out next to the runway to see the snowbirds land. Around the same time, the C-5 wandered in and did a few touch-and-goes, which, without advance warning, little did we know it was going to get pretty exciting. Kind of like standing in a giant sandblaster.
Must have.
Yeah, that was outstanding.
I thought,
Everybody's looking at their legs. I was going to tell you, the wingtip vortices off a big airplane like that. Be careful.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. As I'm sitting here editing this, I'm still picking gravel out of what's left of my hide. Like I said, it got a little exciting, and it stayed exciting, because the next day it was the photographer's dream tour in the National Guard's Black Hawk helicopter. I strapped in next to my old schoolmate, Pat Costello, from CoolJuneauPhotos.com. You'll want to check out his website for more pictures of this outrageous ride.
Juneau Tower 475 on the pond for east. Okay, straight nice cool start down with Juliet. We're ready to go.
Just 475 cleared for takeoff east, straight out departure approved.
Go ahead and snatch it.
And guard 349 inside now. What direction did you want to go first?
We're going to slide out to the right here and probably just do a spin over.
The trip was a little over an hour, and after a quick look at the C-5 from the air, took us up Spalding Meadows and onto the ice cap, where we got a look at Herbert Glacier, and then on over to Berners Bay. It was quite a thrilling ride through the jagged peaks and canyons, and even the pilots were having a great time.
And it's a lot of fun to fly. Very maneuverable helicopter. With the load we got on today, no wing stars or anything like that. It's not even. Yeah, we're not even close to what it can carry. About the only way you can overgross it internally is by packing pig iron or gold bars. Uplink Canal on what is really turning into a nice pretty day here. The Black Hawk kind of spoils you for helicopter flying in that we can just pull up and do an out-of-ground effect hover like this without even thinking about it with a load like we got.
Where are we exactly?
We're a little north of Berners Bay. We're looking uplink Canal towards Haynes, which is up on our right there about another 35 miles. We're just short of Kingsing and Mine, I think. Yeah, we are. Or would you rather hear, oh my God, we're lost? For what it's worth, we're at a place called Point Sherman, if that means anything to you. Commonly referred to as Sherman Point.
No, actually, guys, hey, I missed that shot. Can we do that again about 17 more times? No. Oh, well, it was worth a try. Back at the airport, we had to yield to some traffic that was a little bigger than us and on a tighter schedule. And then, alas, all too soon it was over. Oh, well, plenty more still to see and do. But first, let's talk to the folks who put this whole show together.
The Juneau Airport historically has had air shows back in as early as the very early 80s. I've personally been involved with them since about 1988 time frame forward. And years ago, the Lions Club, matter of fact, the Douglas Lions to start with, started the Snowbird shows here when they come in and do their show. It was sponsored by the Lions Clubs. Since then, in recent years, like in the late 80s and into 90s, we've gone ahead and we've actually requested a lot of different aircrafts from U.S. military to come down. And sometimes we get a military demonstration team if they're available, or sometimes we just get static displays. This year we were very lucky to have some of the aircrafts we had come in here. We got the C-5A again, which is sort of getting to be a regular thing around here now. Young fellow grew up in the Civil Air Patrol here, flies that thing now, and he loves to come to Juneau. But this year we were able to get some different aircrafts in here than we had before. We've got the F-15s, which we haven't had those in our air shows before, and we got the A-10s, and those are aircraft that are stationed in Alaska. But the air show itself is pretty much it's a volunteer group that get together that decide that we should bring aviation to town, and everybody in Juneau seems to be interested in aviation, it seems like. Even on a day like this, they'll come out here and come to an air show.
Our air show committee has been meeting for well over a year to put this event together for the folks of Juneau and Southeast Alaska. Probably the last 6 to 9 months we've been meeting weekly. We have a wonderful committee of folks like Dick Roundtree and just the gamut of community members and people that work at the airport and other people that have aviation interests have put in hundreds and hundreds of hours. It's a pretty expensive show for us to put on. My guess is that probably by the time all the bills get in, we'll probably hit $60,000 to $70,000. So.
And Dick Roundtree's in charge of the weather, so if that AWACS can't come by at 11:45, it's Dick's fault. The neat thing, and his co-chair is Jeannie Johnson. Now, Jeannie has nothing to do with the weather. It's Dick's fault, but Dick wants that plane to land so we can sell it some fuel. So we know it'll clear up. I also want to thank the Juneau Lions Club, and I know there are former Lions in the audience and also current Lions, because it was the Juneau Lions that started these events years and years ago. And also want to welcome the Royal Canadian Air Force, the Snowbirds, and all military personnel that arrived here for the air show from out of town. And also thank you to our local military, the Alaska Air National Guard, the Alaska National Guard, and the U.S. Coast Guard. And we're very proud of you, and we're also very proud to have a Grand Marshal that is no stranger to Alaska, and that is Lieutenant General Thomas R. Case. Lieutenant General Case is commander of the Alaskan Command 11th Air Force and the Alaska North American Aerospace Defense Command region, and they're headquartered at Elmendorf Air Force Base. As commander of the Alaskan Command, one of 4 sub-unified commanders for the U.S. Pacific Command, General Case is the single military point of contact for more than 21,000 active duty Guard and Reserve Alaska military members from all services. General Case has operational control of 3 component headquarters, and these are U.S. Air Forces Alaska, U.S. Army Alaska, and the U.S. Naval Forces Alaska. General Case is tasked to conduct joint training and to deploy a joint task force when directed by the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Pacific Command. He assists the Federal Emergency Management Agency and other government agencies to provide military assistance to civil authorities during federal emergencies. A commander of the U.S. Air Force, 11th Air Force, General Case is responsible for organizing, equipping, and maintaining the combat readiness of 2 tactical fighter wings, 2 main operating bases, 5 contingency bases, and 18 remote radar sites. As commander of the Alaska North American Aerospace Defense Command, General Case conducts controls and coordinates air operations within Alaskan aerospace to provide early warning and air defense against hostile attacks with an augmented strength of more than 12,000 personnel and more than 140 aircraft. General Case entered the Air Force in 1969 through the Air Force Academy and earned his pilot wings in June 1970. And I have a whole list of things that he's flown, but I just say he has over 4,000 flying hours and he flies a little bit of everything. He served as forward air controller, air liaison officer, instructor pilot, squadron operations commander, squadron commander, executive officer, vice wing commander, formerly in Alaska, Major Command Inspector General, and Director of Operations of the Unified Combatant Command. And prior to assuming his current position, he served as the Deputy Commander-in-Chief and Chief of Staff for the U.S. Central Command. General Case has previously served here in Alaska. He was commander of the 3rd Wing at Elmendorf Air Force Base from July 1993 to March of 1995. It's a real honor for the citizens of Juneau, especially myself, to welcome General Case to Alaska's capital. General, welcome.
I was asked to say a few words to kick off the events today on the military in Alaska, both the importance of the military in Alaska and relationship of Alaskans to the military. And those are my 2 very favorite topics, so I'm glad to have the opportunity to do that. First, I would tell you that military assignment to duty in Alaska is a very, very sought after assignment. And in fact, if we didn't have the requirement to put some limits on the time that people can serve here before they have to move on, there'd only be a small group of people that would be privileged to serve in Alaska. Everybody wants to come to Alaska, and everybody wants to stay. Why is that? Well, it's no secret to this group here. This is a beautiful, beautiful state, a great pioneering spirit, and a wonderful opportunity for us to do our military mission. And that military mission is vitally important for the United States of America here in Alaska. It started a long time ago when Secretary of State William Seward had this strategic vision of how important Alaska would become and purchased Alaska from the Russians. For the first 17 years, the military was the territorial government. And then a number of years after that, in the 1930s, Air Power pioneer Billy Mitchell testified to Congress that Alaska was the most strategic location in the world for aircraft operations. And that vision has really borne true. The strategic location of Alaska is vitally important to us. And that's not the only reason why it's so important to Alaska. The opportunity to train here with the airspace that we have available in partnership with other uses of the airspace, 33,000 miles of coastline, the ice-free ports, our artillery ranges, land maneuver areas, and just the space to operate in a realistic way make Alaska very vital for all that we do. And that's true for all the services. Our primary presence here is Air Force and Army, but we have a large naval contingent as well with the Coast Guard. And increasingly, training exercises in Alaska are becoming just very valuable for us. I'm pleased to see the array of aircraft that are here. It's going to be an exciting afternoon. We're pleased to bring the military aircraft in here, but it's going to be a wonderful lineup today, not only the aerial events, but the static displays representing all of our services, active, Guard and Reserve, and some tremendous civilian airplanes that are out there. So if you love Alaska, if you love military service like I do, and if you love aviation, I can't think of a more exciting place to be than right here in Juneau, Alaska for Airshow 2000. And I would tell you once again how privileged and honored I am to be the Grand Marshal for today's events, and I look forward to a very exciting day. Thank you very much.
And thank you, General Case. Now it's on to the air show. Let's go see some planes. Hey, look, there's a DC-3, and that biplane's pretty sharp. I see a Corsair in the back, and there's a trick little helicopter, but Hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? Let's put a little perspective on this, shall we? There we go. I thought something was funny. Wow, those models are really realistic. But let's go see some real planes.
Okay, I'm Captain Mark Allen from Eielson Air Force Base. I'm with the 355th Fighter Squadron. This is the A-10 Thunderbolt II aircraft, more affectionately known as the Warthog. It was designed to be a tank killer, originally designed for the war in Central Europe against the former Soviet Union, if that would have happened. And the centerpiece of the aircraft here is the 30mm GAU-8 Avenger Gatling gun, which is what every guy loves to shoot and loves to talk about. 30mm packs a hell of a punch, and as you can see, the airplane is actually designed around it. The nose gear is offset to one side, just so that the gun can be in there. And over half the length, just about half the length of the airplane is made up of the gun and the ammo drum system for that gun. We can carry a variety of different munitions, free-fall bombs, rockets, air-to-air missiles, all kinds of different stuff. And we train up at Eielson Air Force Base, and love being here in Alaska. It's a great place to train and a great place to live. Glad to be here, and we're glad to be here doing static display for the air show here in Juneau.
Hi, I'm Todd Brooks. I'm a major in the Air Force Reserve, stationed at Travis Air Force Base in California. I was born and raised here in Juneau and graduated from Juneau Douglas High School in 1979. Today we have the great pleasure of displaying our aircraft to the citizens of Juneau. This aircraft is a Lockheed C-5B Galaxy. This aircraft was one of the last C-5s to be rolled off the assembly line in 1987. This aircraft, or sometime during when the C-5 was being produced, was the largest aircraft in the world. Since then, about 3 aircraft in the world have surpassed it in size. But it is still the largest aircraft that the U.S. has in its inventory. It's 247 feet in length, and its wingspan is 222 feet. We have a capability of carrying 332,500 pounds of gas, and that'll keep us airborne for about 17 hours unrefueled. We also have the capability to refuel the aircraft in flight using a tanker, and therefore accomplish any mission that may be required of us. As far as cargo handling capability, we have a cargo deck below us. This is the flight station. Below us we have the cargo deck. Its dimensions are 19 feet wide, 13.5 feet in height, and when we extend the ramps fore and aft, we have a distance that's longer than the Wright brothers' first flight. We can carry about 250,000 pounds of cargo on that deck, and of course we'll carry the amount of cargo that we need and carry the fuel that we need, and if we need more fuel, we'll get that fuel in flight. We're not that fast. We run a little faster than 737s, but a good deal slower when we're crossing oceans. We see 747s pass us up all the time. We run at Mach 0.77, and the 747s are cooking along at about 0.86 Mach. So, but it's a very comfortable airplane. It's spacious, and as far as a flying machine goes, it's extremely responsive and just an absolute joy to fly. One of the real delights of being a C-5 aircrew member is that we get to participate in just about every operation that goes on in the world because we have the capability of carrying cargo that no other aircraft can carry. This includes disaster relief missions. I believe a year or two ago we were providing relief in Honduras after Hurricane Mitch, and we carry supplies down there. This aircraft also goes to Antarctica about once a year or so and lands on the ice down there and resupplies McMurdo Station down there. So we get to do a lot of interesting things. All of us on this crew are Air Force reservists. That means we're part-timers. We have civilian jobs, and this is something we volunteered to do on a part-time basis. And we maintain all the same currency and training and qualification requirements as do our active duty counterparts. And we're ready to go when they call us should the need arise. So it's a great part-time job. I would highly encourage anybody who's interested in this kind of job to see their recruiter. We always need good people.
And in you, they got one. It's always nice to see our own hometown folk go on to bigger things. Sorry. Anyway, can you keep a secret? Well, the guys in this airplane can. Their whole job is gathering top-secret information. When I asked them, you mean you're actually going to let me walk through this classified aircraft with tape rolling and take video to show to everybody? They just said that everything secret was powered down and tucked away where I'd never see it. Oh well, so much for the James Bond bit.
How you doing? I'm Captain Jade Beam, stationed with the 962nd AWACS in Elmendorf up in Anchorage. We're currently on the E3 AWACS aircraft. It's a modified Boeing 707 with a 30-foot radar dish on top. What it's used for is to see long-range radar targets, mostly airborne targets, so that we can feed that information to our fighter aircraft and provide a better air picture to both airborne aircraft and also our battle commanders on the ground.
But not two nosy reporters with fancy video cameras. Next up, my personal favorite, the F-15.
Staff Sergeant Justice Humphreys, 19th Fighter Squadron, 3rd Wing, Elmendorf Air Force Base, Anchorage, Alaska. It's the F-15C, single-seat fighter aircraft, world's top superiority air-to-air fighter. The star on the green star on the nose represents a MiG kill during Desert Storm, MiG-29. This aircraft is the top line of the air superiority.
Okay, we've seen the fast and deadly, the top secret, the enormous. Now let's see an aircraft that's none of those things. Being a biplane, you may think it's old, but, well, it's not that either.
I'm Ron Sheardown. I live in Anchorage, flown in the Arctic for almost 50 years. I bought this airplane in 1996 at Pisatel Mielec in Poland. It was brand new at that time, and we've got about 500 hours on it now. It's been to the North Pole a couple of times, and we'll be going to the North Pole next week and over to Norway, and then in December we'll be going to the South Pole and back to the North Pole and back to Anchorage again. There's 18,000 AN-2s in the world, or that were built, starting in 1946. It was the standard East Bloc bush airplane and military troop carrier, short field airplane. It was sort of the equivalent of our Otter, Beaver, Cessnas. They basically just had one bush airplane, and this was the airplane. Originally there was 5,000 built in Russia at Omsk, and then the assembly line transferred to Poland in 1968, and they were all built in Poland after that.
Well, we're not going back to Poland or even to the North Pole, but we are going to take a little ride down the channel and back. Hey, you want to race? First one to the rock dump wins.
General Ground, Antonov Experimental 72 Kilo Sierra at Delta Taxi, and we'd like to take off from Delta. We'll be putting another 5 minutes warming up.
Experimental 72 Kilo Sierra Taxi, runway 8 at Delta. Contact tower 271 ready.
2 Kilo Sierra. And Juneau 2 Kilo Sierra is rolling.
Experimental 72 Kilo Sierra, roger. And what's your directional flight?
We'll be going down over the village and back again.
Roger.
Juneau Tower, Antonov Experimental 72 Kilo Sierra, Juneau Douglas Bridge inbound.
Experimental 72 Kilo Sierra, Juneau Tower. Report entering downwind for runway 8.
2 Kilo Sierra.
39's overhead area. Boeing 39, number 2 minus Cessna in the cut, runway 8, clear to land.
Well, just like the Black Hawk, all too soon it was over again, and we were back on the ground. But that was fun. Hey, let's see who else we can get a ride out of. Oh, hey, look, the trolley. It may not fly, but maybe he'll let me ring the bell. Nope, looks like that job's already spoken for.
Well, not that easy. There you go. He spent 6 months of intensive training to ring that bell, and he's done a darn good job of it, too.
Well, the trolley got me safely back over to the hangar where everyone was preparing for the main event, the Canadian Snowbirds. And even though the weather was pretty lousy, they weren't about to disappoint the crowd. They just had to fly a little lower.
Snowbird second. Snowbird 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. Let's do some good flying for the people watching today, guys. Snowbird smoke now. Be a bit of a left turn, that's stage left, followed by a reversal to the right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your new Millennium Snowbirds.
Easing left. Very slowly. Tightening. Reversing. Bunker 4, smoke up. Now. Fire back. Be a big diamond, bomb side next. Big diamond, go.
Hi, I'm Captain Andy Cook, Snowbird 11 from Cobourg, Ontario. The Snowbirds fly the Canadair CT-114 Tudor. It's a Canadian-designed and built jet trainer built in Montreal, Quebec between 1962 and 1967. It flies at an altitude of up to 41,000 feet, 470 miles per hour, and can fly approximately 350 miles before refueling. It's capable of sustaining 7.3 G and flying to negative 3 G.
Snowbirds, roll now. Smoke now. Easy right low. Easy up.
Even with the modified show due to the weather, the precision formations of the Snowbirds never fail to impress folks. Afterwards, they were all on hand to sign autographs, and many a fan went away with the John Hancocks of the entire team on a full-size color poster. That was pretty much it for the air show, but there was one last event tied to the show, a search and rescue demonstration Sunday morning in the channel downtown. And yep, I got one last ride. This one in a Coast Guard boat to witness a swimmer being picked out of the water by a Jayhawk helicopter out of Sitka. It was basically a simple yet effective method. Guy in water, helicopter in sky. Helicopter lowers a sling, sling lifts guy out of water. Done deal. There's a multitude of things that can go wrong, but these guys make it look simple. An elegant testimony to their skill and their ability to save us poor hapless souls who venture into trouble out in the wilds of Alaska and help us get back alive to witness more events like the Southeast Alaska Regional Airshow. Copies of this and other programs produced by KATH-TV are available on VHS for $20. Call us at 586-8384 to place your order.